My name's Daryl Schipp, this is Adam and this is Zoe. We run Doodle Cooma Herefords and Schipps Red Angus. Doodle Cooma Herefords started in 1949 and Schipps Red Angus started in 1993. We run about 100 stud breeders of each, and then we've got followers, different age groups and some crossbred cattle at times. Here on Glandore, which is just east of Wagga, the best of times we're running about 500, 550 head of cattle. Our aim is always to sell about 20 bulls of each breed. Our main clientele are commercial buyers. We've got a loyal band of commercial buyers in the local Wagga district, but we've got clients stretching from the Queensland border down right through to Western Victoria. ProWay's got a reputation of being one of the elite yard builders, so that was our first port of call. Our old yards weren't going to cut it anymore. I guess to the government incentive there for the 100% write-off, that was something to look at. And then ProWay being local, and I knew some of the people out there, so it was a no-brainer to bring them out. Damien Holloway came around and he nearly fell over when he saw what we were working in, and within 5 minutes said, "Oh, we'll turn everything around and aim you in the different direction." So that's not something I would have even considered. Previous owners, it was very basic. It was sort of pipe and rail and a bit of mesh through it. We had the standard V forcing pen behind the race itself, and that meant you had to get into the V, you know, with your bit of poly pipe and battle each individual animal to get them into the race. And that was our big blockage for performing our activities.
A lot more corners in the old one, where they'd all just bunch up, and it was so much harder to get them moving around at a nice pace. But yeah, obviously this one, a lot more curves and really flow through nicely to the crush. The
old yards were built to run to the slope of a hill, which is not good either for walking up and down and everything. So we got a front end loader in here. We flattened all the side out, bobcat in to trim it off and put down some road base, and they were constructed towards the end of the year. It took about a week to actually construct them, but obviously they'd been pre-built all out there at the factory. The area we're on now is all concreted, so it's virtually an all-weather thing. The only thing next is, when we get round to it, is put a roof over it, and that'll make it the ultimate, I suppose.
When they were completed, they came out and we did a bit of a walkthrough with them just to do a quality check and make sure we were happy and they were happy, and yeah, no issues were picked up, and if there were anything, they dealt with it sort of on the day, so credit to them how they dealt with it, and a good result.
With this adjustable race, we can put the big bulky cows, some up to 850 kilos, and they get through really easily, and then we squeeze it up and run the calves through, and we don't have them forever turning backward. In our old yards, that was a problem. They'd flip over and do all sorts of things, yeah.
Yeah, so the rotary force gate, once you've got a number in the pen here, you can just follow them around with it, and when the lever's pulled out, it'll lock into the little slots on the side wall, and as they feed through the race here, you can just keep following them around with the gate, and once they're all through, pull it back around and load in the next lot.
As you can see here, even if we did have to force an animal, we've got a push gate there at the back or from the side, and you don't have to get in with them. So yeah, it's a lot safer working that way, and better for the animals. They don't get as stressed either. We've got a three-way draft. We utilise that fairly regularly. We coupled it with a hydraulic crush, and that's just awesome. You just stand in the middle and flick a few levers, and you know, as I said, if we can process them quick enough there, the cattle flow through, and you know, it all works very well. You can walk away at the end of the day and not feel shattered. Yeah, there was times in the old yards where you brought a mob of cows and calves in and you process the calves, and then you think, do I really want to go through the cows? It's probably not essential that I do that particular job. We'll delay it for another time, whereas here it's a no-brainer. You just get in, get it all done. But you know, the more you put them through, they've worked out what happens, and they, at the back of the race, they see their mate at the front and just follow them around, yeah. They're leaving the yards and go straight back on the grass, and they're not stressed. They start eating again and keep the weight gain going. This system here, once they started flowing properly and we could keep up with it at the front, they'd nearly load themselves. Over the 6 months, we would have put numerous lots of cattle through, so we might have had 1,500 cattle through here already. There's nothing that indicates that it's wearing out or get dents in it or anything like that, so it should last for a long time. You know, we have students at times and you've got to think of the safety of everybody, so this is certainly a step up, and you can confidently say to someone, come over and work in the yards with us.
Yeah, I'd certainly recommend ProWay, and even our whole experience of working with the ProWay team as well as the physical yards, it has all just combined really well and really easy, and over such a short amount of time in the scheme of things, from planning to the design and implementing and then to using it, it all just was very smooth and very quick, and couldn't fault it.
The cattle are doing some of the work for you with the way they just feed through. You're not dreading having to come back in and spend a long hot day in the yards working hard, so it's definitely better on that front to come in and know it's going to be a more simple job.
It is so much easier and also so much more efficient time-wise, and you know, jobs that took twice as long with the old yards. It just makes cattle work as a job so much more enjoyable, I guess, and yeah, it's definitely a big improvement.
I certainly recommend ProWay. They're easy to work with. There's always someone at the end of the phone to talk to. I guess you get what you pay for. As Zoe said, it would have halved our time, I think. On our yards down the creek, we've contracted now to get a new rotary force put at the back of that race. So yeah, it was a pretty easy decision to make.